أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Welcome to Ahlebait TV. Thank you very much for your time this evening. We're on air for about 50 minutes and plenty of time for you to inshallah get your questions to our esteemed Islamic scholar. You can call in. The phone number should be appearing on your screens throughout the duration of the show. Alternatively, you can post your questions on the WhatsApp or text message service, which should also be appearing on your screens. So without any further delay, I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome our esteemed Islamic scholar, His Eminence, Sayyid Muhammad Musawi, to Ahlebait TV. Sayyidina, Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. All praise due to Allah, who created us out of His mercy. He did not need at all to create us, but He created us to shower on us His mercy, and He guided us by sending His prophets to guide us, and the last and final and the greatest prophet Muhammad and his holy progeny to guide us. The Prophet Muhammad as the final and last prophet, and his successors, Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam, who are the guides of the real followers of the religion of Islam. They are our guides to the right path. We thank Allah who granted us this bounty, ni'mah, of knowing and loving and following Muhammad and his holy progeny, Ahlul Bayt. And we salute the Prophet and his Ahlul Bayt as much as Allah knows that they are entitled to be saluted. We know that we will never be able to give them their rights, but Allah, who created us and created them, knows what is their right on us. May Allah keep on saluting them and getting us the reward of saluting our Prophet and his holy progeny, Ahlul Bayt. The month of Sha'ban, the month of the Prophet of Islam. And one of the most important noble acts in this month of Sha'ban is continuous salawat on the Prophet and Ahlul Bayt. What is the benefit of salawat for us? After knowing that the Prophet of Islam and his holy progeny, they don't need any salawat or anything from us, but the salawat which we recite, in fact, it is an elevation for us, and it is an enlightenment for our hearts. And more we recite salawat, more we are enlightened, and more we are uplifted, and more we get the prayers of the angels, as the Prophet of Islam has been reportedly said that the person who recites salawat on me and my progeny, the angels will pray for him as far as he is reciting salawat. And the salawat, my dear mu'mineen and mu'minat, the salawat has got a taste, very sweet taste, and that sweet taste is felt by those who recite salawat with understanding. When they remember the most beloved Muhammad and Ahlul Bayt and recite salawat on them, they feel in their hearts sweetness of remembering the most beloved human being, Muhammad, and his holy progeny, Ahlebait, alayhi wa alayhim as-salatu was-salam. So those who recite salawat with understanding, they feel the sweetness of it, and they are uplifted to higher and higher degrees by more salawat, and also they get their sins forgiven, and they get their difficulties solved and driven away from them, and they get a lot of blessings as far as they keep on reciting salawat on Muhammad and Ali Muhammad. And the hadith says that the most weighty act in the scale in the day of judgment is salawat on Muhammad and Ali Muhammad. So the lucky people recite and keep on reciting salawat day and night. One of the maraja of taqleed says that when you keep on reciting salawat with understanding and with feeling the sweetness of it, you will be elevated to higher degrees in the paradise. In the month of Sha'ban, besides salawat, it is also highly recommended to repeat astaghfirullah wa as'aluhu at-tawbah. Astaghfirullah wa as'aluhu at-tawbah. All of us need seeking forgiveness. All of us, because none of us is infallible. So we have in our chart of deeds many errors, many mistakes, many sins, God forbid, and we need these errors and sins to be forgiven, and we need to repeatedly say astaghfirullah or astaghfirullah wa atubu ilayh or astaghfirullah wa as'aluhu at-tawbah. That is why you find in the hadith that it is recommended to say in every day in Sha'ban 70 times astaghfirullah wa as'aluhu at-tawbah in the morning, and again in the evening 70 times astaghfirullah wa as'aluhu at-tawbah. And when you seek istighfar, forgiveness for your parents and your relatives and all the mu'mineen and mu'minat, then your reward will be multiplied thousands and thousands of times. ربنا اغفر لي ولوالدي وللمؤمنين يوم يقوم الحساب. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم.
Thank you very much indeed, sir. Now I'm going to go straight to the questions. The first one, it says, in some medicines there is ethanol, i.e. which is an alcohol. Is this allowed? Some medicines have animal extracts. Are they also allowed?
As far as the ethanol is an alcohol, but as I was told, it is not intoxicant. Any alcohol which does not cause intoxication is permissible to consume. It becomes haram when it causes intoxication. About the medicines which have animal ingredients, if the animal were slaughtered in the Islamic way, halal animals, then any ingredients from halal animal will be halal. But if the animal was not halal animal, then any ingredient from non-halal animal is not permissible for us to consume, even if it is in the medicine. We must look for an alternative, another medicine which does not contain non-halal ingredients.
Okay, thank you. Next question. Can we have spirit vinegar, barley malt extract, and other types of vinegars like white wine and red wine vinegar?
Every type of vinegar, whether it is white wine vinegar, red wine vinegar, any type of vinegar is halal. Because as far as it is vinegar, then it is no more containing any alcohol. Even if the origin of it was from alcohol, like white wine or red wine or spirit, whatever. But now it became vinegar. And when it became vinegar, vinegar is halal. Consuming any type of vinegar is permissible, inshallah.
Inshallah. I have not yet made up the fast that I missed last Ramadan when I had my period, and I do not know how many days I missed. What should I do?
You must, first of all, start making up what you missed from the last Ramadan, because now the days remaining till next Ramadan are limited. Everyone who missed any fast in last Ramadan, 1 day, 2 days, 5 days, 10 days, more, less, must perform qada fast, must make up that missed fast from the last year before the next Ramadan comes. That is obligatory. There's no option. So you don't know how many days you missed. What is the minimum number of days you are sure about? Say between 7 to 9, or between 5 to 9. So 5 is definite. That definite number of days are obligatory on you to keep fast as qada. What you are sure about. What you are not sure is not wajib on you, but it is good as a precaution. But start immediately without any delay and start qada for the number which you are sure about. Yes, please.
Okay, thank you. Can a married man marry another woman who is married in the court of law and force his wife to accept this arrangement, especially in this time and age? More so, can he divorce his first wife because of this second wife abandoning his children, responsibilities, and acting as if he did no wrong in the eyes of Allah? What are the rights of the first wife?
Repeat the question. Repeat it slowly and clearly. Can a man marry another woman who is married in the court?
Yes, no. Can a man marry another woman who is married in the court of law? I'm assuming that the second wife, or the wife or the lady he wants to marry, is married according to the law of the country, law of the land, but divorced Islamically, let's assume.
Is she divorced now or not?
So according to this question, it sounds like she's divorced Islamically, but not divorced, but still legally married as per the statutes of that country.
The Islamic divorce is a divorce which affects the Islamic divorce is a divorce which terminates the marriage. So the Islamic divorce is must. That is definite. Next question.
Okay, so then going on, it says now that this husband, so it goes on to say that can he divorce his first wife because of this second wife, abandoning his children, his responsibilities, and acting as if he has done no wrong in the eyes of Allah? What are the rights of the first wife if she disagrees with the divorce and the second marriage?
The Muslim should not do injustice and should not harm his wife. I mean, his first wife definitely spent some time from her life with him, and she gave birth to children, his children and her children. It is not fair, not a good attitude or not a good behavior for a person for his desire to harm the feelings of his first wife. The Muslim should be more intelligent and more polite and more fair with everyone. What about his own wife? You want to divorce your first wife to please the second wife? No, that is unfair at all. We don't advise that at all, and we advise you to think again and be fair with your first wife. In fact, the condition of having more than one wife is to practice the practical equality and justice between the two wives. And if you are unable to practice the justice between them, then you are not allowed to have a second wife. If you are unable to practice the justice between the two, then وَإِنْ خِفْتُمْ أَلَّا تَعْدِلُوا فَوَاحِدَةٌ. If you fear that you might not be able to practice the justice between two, then just one wife. Yes, please.
Okay, before we move on, just very quickly, could you clarify what is the right of the first wife if she A, disagrees with him divorcing her, and B, disagrees with him marrying the second wife?
You know, the rights of the wife are the same right of the wife. I mean, he should look after her. He should pay for all her livelihood expenses. He should respect her. He should avoid hurting her or harming her. He should not insult her. He should not cause any harm to her. After all, she is his wife, because Allah in the Quran said, وَلَهُنَّ مِثْلُ الَّذِي عَلَيْهِنَّ بِالْمَعْرُوفِ. Whatever dues or duties on them, on the wives, they have got rights on the husbands. Same means you must deal with her nicely, look after all her expenses, respect her, avoid harming her or hurting her. That is her rights. Of course, that does not mean that second marriage is conditional by her approval. No, unless you want to marry women from Ahlul Kitab in a temporary marriage, you need to have the permission of your Muslim wife if you have a Muslim wife. We don't advise you at all to divorce your first wife for the sake of the second wife. That is unfair, and that should not take place from a person who respects himself and person who wants to be always fair and just.
Okay, thank you. Are we able to use cannabis oil for anything apart from medical purposes?
What is the effect of that oil? Is it intoxicant or not? If it is intoxicant, then no. We are not allowed to use any type of drugs as far as the material is intoxicant, whether it is in the form of oil or powder or any form. Using any intoxicant is not permissible in Islam.
And if it's
Yes.
for medicinal purposes, would it be allowed then or not? Still no.
Is it intoxicant or not? If it is intoxicant, no. Even for medicine, no. If it is intoxicant. If it is not intoxicant and it helps in medicine, yes, it is permissible, but it should not be intoxicant. Yes,
Sure.
please.
Thank you. If someone is in a temporary marriage and wants to come out of it before the term ends, what is the procedure?
The procedure simply that the husband leaves the remaining period. Just he tells her, I'm leaving for you the remaining period. And by telling her that, that remaining period will be over. It will finish the agreement between him and her. If it was for say 3 years, and after 1 year they found it difficult to continue, he tells her, I'm leaving for you the remaining 2 years. That's it. The temporary marriage is over.
Okay, thank you. Next question. My granddaughter is baligh and does her fasts regularly. Recently, she fractured a bone and is in pain and on medication for 4 weeks. Can she fast and swallow her tablets without water? Would that invalidate her fast?
Anyone who is not well, if his condition does not become worse, does not worsen by fasting, then she should or he should fast. Simply, fasting is obligatory in the month of Ramadan on every Muslim who is not traveling at the moment, and not ill. The illness either can be initiated by fasting, then not obligatory to fast. Or there is an existing condition which can be worsened by fasting, then no fasting obligatory. Or the condition which is existing might take longer time to cure. If the person fasts, then no fasting. But if the illness does not prolong, does not become worse, fasting remains obligatory. Now, the question of having tablets. If the patient does have to take tablets, then tablets during the day will invalidate the fast. So a person who must take tablets during the day is not to fast, and then fasting will be wajib on the person later on as qada. If she can take her tablets before Sahri or after iftar in the evening and her health will be okay, then she should fast and take her tablets either before Sahri or after iftar. But if she has to take the tablets definitely during the day, then fasting won't be obligatory on her as an ill person. Yes, please.
So, in a situation where someone is required, let's say this young lady who, or young sister who has broken or fractured a bone, let's say she's prescribed tablets 3 times a day. If she chooses to say, I'm going to take 1 tablet before suhoor or at suhoor time, and I'm going to take this second tablet after iftar, but I'm going to miss the one in the daytime so that I continue to fast, would that fast be valid, or would she still have to say no? Because the doctor has prescribed the medicine 3 times a day, then she should not fast and take the medication.
If she takes 1 before suhoor and 1 after iftar and 1 midnight, that would be 3 times. But if she has to take a tablet during the day, then fasting won't be obligatory on her.
Sorry, I'll move on. Sure, I'll move on. Just to clarify, I'm more saying, okay, the doctor's prescribed something for me, but I'm confident that I should be okay. I'm going to take 2 tablets as opposed to 3. I'm confident I should be okay. Would it be haram for me under such circumstances to fast?
No, if she is sure that she will be okay, then that's okay. If she knows that she will be okay with taking tablet before suhoor and tablet after iftar, okay. But I think if she can add another one midnight, it means few hours after iftar.
Yeah.
Few hours after iftar, that will be 3 tablets. Should be okay.
Okay, brilliant. Yes, moving on. My daughter is 12, but has learning difficulties, and her intellectual ability is that of a 6 to 7-year-old. Is it wajib on her to fast?
No. If she is abnormal in her thinking, if she is abnormal in her thinking, because one of the conditions of the obligatory worship is aql. The person is not obliged to perform the ibadah if his aql, his intellect is abnormal. So if this person is not considered by people as aqil, means with intellect, then it is not wajib on such person to perform the ibadah, whether salah or siyam or other ibadat, because the person is not fully aqil, not fully aqil. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Can you please provide us a dua for a good night's sleep?
A dua for
good night's sleep.
Good night's sleep. Good question. Of course, all the questions are good, but a lot of people suffer from disturbance in sleeping for many reasons. Good night's sleep. Number 1, try your best to keep your day and night clear from sinful acts, because sinful acts definitely have a reaction. Every action has reaction, and the reaction has the same nature of the action. So bad action has got bad reaction, bad result. Always try to do good, and the good deeds will make good reaction in your mind and mentality. Number 2, before going to bed, perform wudu. Wudu before going to bed. That will give you a great amount of peace and reward as well. The hadith says the person who performs wudu and goes for bed will get the reward of spending the whole night in the worshipping of Allah, ibadah. So perform wudu for going to bed. Number 3, recite tasbih of Fatima, which is 34 times Allahu Akbar and 33 times Alhamdulillah and 33 times Subhanallah. When you recite the tasbih of Fatima alayhi salam, you will get great blessings. Number 4, recite Ayatul Kursi when you go to bed. When you go to bed, recite Ayatul Kursi. Allahu la ilaha illa huwa al-hayyul qayyum la ta'khudhuhu sinatun wa la nawm lahu ma fi as-samawati wa ma fi al-ard man dha alladhi yashfa'u 'indahu illa bi'idhnihi ya'lamu ma bayna aydihim wa ma khalfahum wa la yuhituna bi shay'in min 'ilmihi إلا بما شاء وسع كرسيه السماوات والأرض ولا يؤوده حفظهما وهو العلي العظيم. So recite Ayatul Kursi when you go to bed. Then next, recite Surah Falaq and Surah Nas. All these won't take from you more than few minutes. Few minutes. That is very useful to get peaceful sleep, inshallah.
Inshallah, thank you very much indeed. I have a young child who has a lot of anger. Is there a dua I can read as a mother to remove the anger, or a ta'weez the child could wear?
Anger is from shaitan. So as a mother, pray to Allah to protect your child from shaitan. And it is good that when you feed your child or give him water to drink, recite on the food or on the water at least one time Surah Al-Hamd, if not 7 times. If you can recite 7 times on the food, that food will be blessed and it will have a very good impact on your child. So food and drink, make it blessed with reciting Quran, at least 1 time Surah Al-Hamd or 7 times. And dua, because you are a mother and the mother's dua, the dua of the mother has got importance. So you pray to Allah to protect your child from the anger and from any satanic thought or act.
Okay, and is there a dua for victory and success?
There is a dua for having good children as well. I want to add on the answer of previous question. You, my respected sister, keep on reciting the Quranic dua. ربنا اغفر لي ولوالدي وللمؤمنين, and also رب اجعلني مقيم الصلاة ومن ذريتي. These Quranic du'as are useful. Now about victory, yes, of course. Victory, we have got reciting Surah An-Nasr, إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح. Recite it in your prayers, obligatory prayers and mustahab prayers. Reciting إذا جاء نصر الله والفتح is very helpful in getting victory, inshallah.
Inshallah. Next question. I pay money into my children's account. Do I have to pay khums for their money or not?
If you are giving the money as a gift to your children, means the ownership of the money is no more for you. It becomes the ownership of your children. Then you don't need to pay khums on what you have gifted. But if you put it in their account and you think that you are still the owner, then you have to pay khums on that money, which is kept in the account of your children, but you think that you are still the owner. So it depends on the ownership. Yes, please.
If you gift that money to your children, do they have to pay khums on it?
Yes, according to, we have got two opinions. Some of the ulama say that the children should pay khums after they become baligh. And other opinion of the other maraja of taqlid say that the money which is in the ownership of a child on the date of khums, it must be purified by paying its khums by the guardian, the father or the mother, who is the guardian of the child. The guardian is responsible to pay the khums on the money which belongs to the child. So you should refer to your marja of taqlid.
Okay, thank you. I am Shia. My husband is Sunni. I don't earn. Only my husband earns. He doesn't pay khums and I do not have any savings. Please tell me about khums. Is khums still obligatory on me? As I have told earlier, I have no savings.
If you have no savings, so the matter is solved. Khums is only on those who have got more than their lively expenses. And you say that you have no savings. No saving means no khums. That's it. As far as you have no saving, even £1, if you have saved £1, then khums of £1 is 20 pence. But if you have no savings at all, whatever you receive, you spend, and nothing remains with you at all, then no khums obligatory on you as far as you have nothing remaining with you.
What's the way of calculating your khums when you are self-employed?
What is the way of calculating the khums when you are self-employed? It is very simple. Very simple. Self-employed knows how much profit he has made. Out of that profit you spend for your livelihood expenses, yourself, your family, your children, whatever remains is applicable for khums. So you made £1,000 of profit, okay? And you spend 500 on your livelihood, living expenses. So you have 500 left. That 500 is applicable for khums, and the khums of 500 is £100. That is an example.
Okay, thank you. Another khums question. How do I pay khums on gold jewelry? I have not paid khums on gold I wore over 5 years ago, and I have had it in the bank for over 5 years. Do I just need to pay khums on this now of 20% or 20% for every year I have not used it? And how do I go about calculating this?
First of all, if you have kept the jewelry in the bank for 5 years, that means that you are not using your jewelry usual use. If you wear your jewelry once a week or every few days, then no khums on jewelry which are being usually used. But as you say that you have kept it in the bank, means you are not wearing it, then after the day that you kept the jewelry in the bank, 1 year after that, khums is obligatory. What is the value of it? The market value. The market value either then or now. Now, after 5 years of putting the jewelry in the bank, you take the value of today and pay 20% of the value of what you have from the jewelry, which is unused, kept in the bank or kept at home. Any unused jewelry, khums is applicable. And when you pay khums of the value of today, then no khums next year or the years after, unless the value of the jewelry goes up. So if the value of the jewelry today is, say, for example, 100 pounds, and you paid 20% of 100 pounds as a khums, next year, if the value of the jewelry is also 100 pounds, then no khums. If the value goes up, it becomes 110, then khums is obligatory on the excess, means on the 10 only, because you have already paid for the value of 100, and now the value has gone up, and now it is 110, then you pay khums only on that excess amount which took place. No excess, no change the value, no khums at all. Means no khums again, I say. After paying the khums, no khums again, unless and until the value goes up and you pay the khums of the difference, means the added value. Yes.
Okay. Are women allowed to go to the graveyard?
Yes, women are allowed to the graveyards, of course, with hijab. Not only to the graveyard, I mean, the woman is not allowed to go anywhere without hijab, even to the GP, the doctor, or to the supermarket, or to the school without hijab. If the female is wearing her hijab properly, she is allowed to go to graveyard. Some people ask, are women allowed to go to the graveyard if they are in the menstrual cycle days? The answer is yes, they are allowed. But they are not allowed to enter to a masjid. If the graveyard has got a masjid in some countries, she will not be allowed to enter a masjid because she is during her menstruation days. But going to the graveyard or going to near the grave of her relatives or friends or anyone is permissible in Islam.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Are women allowed to see a non-mahram's dead body's face?
Looking at the face, this is a habit which is non-Muslim habit. The habit of the last scene, they look at the dead body's face. It is not in our teachings of the Prophet and Ahlebait. But it is not haram. Not haram. It is not haram to look at the face of the dead body. Are women allowed to do so? Yes, it is permissible. We don't encourage it because we have no evidence that it was done by a Prophet or Ahlebait alayhim salam. So it is not haram, in short.
Sure. Okay, thank you. Are we allowed to color our hair?
Are we allowed to color our hair? The answer is yes. If the question is from a female, yes, of course you can, but you should wear proper hijab. Coloring the hair is permissible, any color which you choose, but you must wear proper hijab. Yes.
Is it makruh to have food on a broken plate?
Is it makruh to have food in a broken plate? We have got in the narrations that it is makruh to eat in a broken plate, and makruh to drink water in a broken cup or glass. So we should avoid eating or drinking in a broken plate or broken cup or broken glass. Not haram, makruh only. And you know, every makruh is permissible. Better to avoid it. Yeah.
Okay. I'm a UK citizen paying income tax. Is income tax and national insurance that we pay to the government each year classed as zakat?
No, it is not zakah. Income tax and national insurance contribution and similar taxes are part of your expenses as you pay charges to the bank, charges to the insurance company, charges to your children's school, if any. This is part of your expenses. The income tax or any tax, sale tax, VAT, any tax you pay to the government is part of your expenses. Whatever remains after paying all the taxation, whatever remains, then you are entitled or you are responsible to pay the khums of the remaining amount. Yes, please.
With regards to khums, what if you have never paid it before knowing it was wajib? What if you have debts to pay?
If you had in the past savings and you did not pay khums because you did not know that khums was wajib, and that savings has gone, then next year you don't have any saving, that khums of that amount which was being saved by you remains a debt on you. Whenever you have ability, you must pay that debt. But if you did not pay khums because you didn't know khums is wajib since 20 years, now if you have any remaining, then you pay khums of the remaining which you have. If you lost your savings, then that amount which was being earned and remained with you for 1 year or more, the khums of it remains on you as a debt, which must be paid whenever you can. Yes, please.
What if one has benefit money from the government? Does khums still apply?
A person who gets benefits from the state wherever he lives, is he obliged to pay khums from the money which he received from the state? The answer is this. The money from the government, which you take it through lawful way, is like any income. It is an income. You spend it in lawful way, and if it does not remain with you, I mean, you spend it all on your livelihood expenses, then no khums because no saving. But if you spend part and save part, that remaining amount which was being saved is applicable for khums. Even if you have £5 remaining from the salaries or help or whatever you get from the government, that £5 which is remaining is applicable for khums, and khums of £5 is £1.
Okay, we've only got a couple of minutes left, so I'll probably just try and squeeze in one last question. I have seen some people keeping sweets on the grave and also putting water on the grave. Is it allowed?
Keeping feet on the grave?
Sweets. Halawiyat.
Sweets. The sweets. Yes. For whom? Who will eat the sweets? I mean, if the sweets are being consumed by people, good. It is good to feed people. But if you leave the sweet or the food and you know that no one will eat it, it will be spoiled, it will get spoiled, then that is haram. Feeding others is good, but spoiling the food or wasting the food is not permissible at all. Okay, those who put flowers, right? Flowers?
Yes.
The other question is about flowers. Flowers on the graves. This is also a non-Muslim habit. We don't have that Amir al-Mu'mineen alayhi salam put flowers on the grave of the Prophet, nor on the grave of Fatima al-Zahra. If it was good, they would have done it. We don't have any of our infallible imams put flower on anybody's grave. After all, these flowers are going to get wasted. That money which you want to put as flowers on the grave, if you give the same money to poor people or to feed people in that money on behalf of the deceased will get great reward. But putting any quantity of flowers on the grave, that will not give the deceased any help at all. There is no point in wasting money just to show people. It is a matter of show. So it is not a good habit to waste money in something which does not help the deceased. That money of the flowers, you can use it on behalf of the deceased in feeding poor, in doing any charity, in doing any good work. That is good, but not wasting the money in the flower. Yes, please.
Yeah, sorry. Thank you for clarifying flowers. It was actually water on the graves.
Okay, water on the grave is after the burial. After the burial, immediately, it is mustahab, recommended to put water on the grave. After the burial, immediately, it is recommended to put water on the grave. Yes, please.
Okay. Are we allowed to work with Islamic Airlines office who are serving liquor in their planes?
We don't have any Islamic airline office serving liquor. When they serve liquor, they are un-Islamic, even if the name is Muslim name. Anyone who serves liquor is doing an act which is against the teachings of Islam. In the hadith, that Allah has cursed anyone who does anything connected with the liquor, with the alcohol. ملعون عاصرها ملعون حاملها ملعون المحمولة له ملعون بائعها ملعون. Everyone who is connected with alcohol, liquor, is cursed by Allah. So an airline serving alcohol is not an Islamic airline at all, even if the name is Islamic. So wherever you work in a Muslim airline by name or non-Muslim airline, you are not allowed to serve liquor. You are not allowed to serve liquor at all. Serving liquor is haram, and if you do it, you commit a sinful act, and the money that you receive out of that moment or minutes of serving, that money is unlawful money.
So, but what about this particular situation where someone is working in the office? So the office, let's say the office is just responsible for the purchasing of tickets or selling tickets and, I don't know, booking flights and putting people on seats. It's got nothing to do with the actual serving of alcohol. Would that be an okay job to...
Yes. I mean, if your job that you are doing is not including liquor serving or liquor carrying or liquor accounting or liquor anything, if the job does not have any link with the alcohol, then it is permissible.
Okay, so now we have less than a minute.
I think we, in the month of Sha'ban, need to remember reciting as-salawat al-Sha'baniyya, the great salawat, every midday in the month of Sha'ban. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammadin shajarat al-nubuwwa wa mawdha al-risalah wa mukhtalaf al-malaika. Great dua of salawat, which is mentioned in the books of dua. It has got a great deal of fundamental information about the status of Ahlul Bayt that every Muslim should know. Keep that in mind. And in the month of Sha'ban, we have got, for the purification of our heart, Al-Munajat Al-Sha'baniyya. Al-Munajat, Munajat Al-Sha'baniyya is a great source of purification of our soul and hearts. I remind myself and my brothers and sisters to get light and benefits and evaluation and more degrees by reciting as-salawat al-Sha'baniyya every midday and al-Munajat al-Sha'baniyya any time in the day and the night. And may Allah accept your a'mal and keep us all with the sincere followers of Muhammad and his holy progeny by repeating salawat Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajjil farajahum.
Thank you very much indeed, Sayyidina. Thank you to all of our viewers, particularly the ones who sent in their questions. Apologies, we weren't able to get through all of your questions in the time that we had. Inshallah, next time. Until